Back to a previous story where we talked about U.S. Congressman Riley Moore as he voiced strong support for Tiv and Christian leaders in Benue State, something he has always been very expressive about on his X handle regarding the plea and cry by leaders in the region. Joining us now from Gboko in Benue State is Samuel Agwa, convener of the Benue Open Governance Society. Mr. Agwa, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Agwa, please, how would you assess the level of engagement the clerics and traditional rulers had with Mr. Riley Moore?
Well, thank you very much. I guess it was quite robust because looking at the media reports that we were getting, it was clear that the engagement took them to meet with the clerics, the internally displaced persons, government officials, and other stakeholders. And I think significantly, the essence is to establish is an empirical visit designed to dig into facts. If you recall, what has been going on has been narratives. Narratives in terms of whether there is Christian genocide or no Christian genocide. And I think their coming is to fact find, get that empirical understanding, talk with the victims, talk with people to be able to make the So far from the clips we saw in the media, it was quite a robust engagement, even though the participants have not formally, officially come out to give us details of what transpired.
Now, Mr. Agwa, I hear you use the word fact find, but many will argue that conclusions have already been made. So where do we draw how do we conclude there? What exactly are we concluding? Is this a fact-finding mission, or have conclusions been made? Because he's been very vocal about this, especially on his X handle.
I think if conclusions are drawn, there might not have been any need for them to come. And I think also that even if conclusions have not been drawn, you see, there is something about if I make a statement, if I declare something black or something white, I may still need to prove it, even though I might have built sufficient basis to my conclusions. So I still insist that it was fact-finding, because ultimately you are meeting the people live on ground, no longer people talking to you from WhatsApp or from the social media or in the United States, but you have come to meet the population of concern and government officials more directly. So the issue of whether conclusions have been drawn or not drawn, I don't think is very key. Although for me, I believe significantly they have come to establish one or two facts about whatever conclusions they might have drawn.
So, Mr. Agwa, Mr. Moore also pointed out, he described something like a joint task force between Nigeria and the U.S. Are you aware of any long-term strategies regarding this, regarding preventing future attacks and strengthening security in the region?
Well, I think the joint task force is in order, but significantly, if we had these things much, maybe we wouldn't have come. I want to believe it's going to deliver, it's going to work well, but there's a fundamental issue on ground. There is a Christian genocide. Let me talk and be more specific where I'm speaking to you from.
Okay.
I have been in this sector, I have been in this space for the last 15 years. I worked with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. I have worked with NGOs, and I can tell you that consistently in the last 10, 15 years or more, there has been Christian genocide. Now, the point is, for people that I interact with, the population of concern, the displaced communities and families that have been affected, the day they are able to get back to the places they were living, their ancestral homes, where they were uprooted, then we will begin to say, oh, there is some bit of, maybe we can even some sign of relief. For now, I think what matters is let justice be. Let people who are sitting on other people's land that have destroyed their places of worship, that have killed them, let there be that demonstrable signal or demonstrable event that these people are going back in their numbers. So you asked about the committee. That looks a very general thing. because Nigeria-US committee, if you look at the peculiarities of these situations or this genocide thing, it's quite different in different places. For instance, like in Benue, where I'm talking from, there are no places of worship for these people to go back to. There are no homes for them to go back to. People that came and slaughtered them in the name of Allah, they stay on their lands. So it's the coming of the Americans or the American delegation was what gave a lot of people here hope in the anticipation that we are going to work together with the government, work together, either the Nigerian government and the United States government, to try to see how, as soon as possible, as soon as practicable, these injustices are no longer there.
Mr. Agwa, there are also claims that these lands are being claimed by these attackers because of mineral resources that these lands might have. From your point of view, do you think that this also has a part to play here in the violence that has run right through the region?
There's always a destination. If I set out to go to hunt and kill an elephant and bring home, even if I see a grass cutter, even if I see a deer, I will still catch it and bring back home, even though there is an ultimate aim. Yes, nobody is disputing the fact that the people who are occupying these lands and using the resources in these lands, those criminal intentions exist. But there is always an ultimate aim. Because if you look at the trend and what happens here, beyond that, I am uprooted from my ancestral home. I am also made to be in the IDP camp, and the person that killed me and sent me away shouting that he has come to kill me in the name of God. So yes, there could be issues of mineral resources, issues of grass to feed the cattle, so many issues, criminality, all joined. But the bottom line is, if I set out to go and kill you now, and many people are in my way, I will also eliminate them in the course of getting to you. So yes, these factors play. There's climate change, complications and all that. But let no one be deceived. Because if you look at the intent, if you look at the process in the last 10, 15 years, because I'm talking to you as somebody who works in this space, I can tell you sufficiently that there's a calculated ultimate aim. Agree that the mineral resources will serve a purpose for now, or maybe permanently for people that have seized these lands. Agree that they may have a lot of land to graze their cattle and all that. But the entire aim, ultimately, if you like, without shine, is ultimately to establish Sharia.
Mr. Agwa, thank you very much for being very expressive with us here on News Central. Thank you.